That one's on.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning all.
Good morning.
Call the meeting to order. Anything else for your agenda?
No.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I
was waiting, okay, that put them both down.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes.
I read through them, they're good, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second for the minutes for the 16th. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Claims.
I have general as $307,254.84, and drainage at $457 even.
That's what I had.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the numbers of 307, 254.84, and 457. Any other comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. I'm assuming, Rick, the roof is done, I see all the equipment's gone.
No, they're not quite done.
They aren't quite done? I just seen their stuff was all moved, so I
They
thought
say,
maybe
I think they
got
gotta
done all
put the tin around the top yet and stuff,
They were working on over the weekend.
yeah. I haven't been up there to look, but
Okay.
it looked to me like the tin wasn't done around the top.
All right, I just saw everything was
I'm sure
done,
getting
so I thought they
close.
must be close, so. All right, general public concerns. I'm assuming the front row is the group here.
More damn news.
More damn news.
No, what we're here for is, we're gonna bring up to speed. Dave and Rick and Bruce went to the conservation meeting last Wednesday, and, I got this bar engineering to give us a proposal on what it costs to have this dam tested one time to make sure that it's good, you know, before we do anything else, for $11,000 to $15,000. If it's worth fixing, then give us three options for it, $10,000 to $14,000. And, but we wouldn't spend the second half until we knew it was good or not, just to give us a good idea on estimate cost and if it's even viable. But we're beating our heads against the wall with the conservation group, and Dave and Rick and Bruce, all three of them, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, asked them to at least do one more study to, you know, so you can have the best educated decision you could on what to do with the dam going forward. And they won't even bring it up to a vote, as far as I know. I left and we wouldn't even talk about it anymore, so. We were all members of the boat club and are concerned and want to get something done, right or wrong, move forward or let it go or whatever we gotta do. So, I don't know if it's possible. The boat club's dissolved. When we dissolved it, we gave the money to the conservation board. It was only like $5,000 or $6,000, but gave to the conservation board. And is there a way that we can start another boat club or something that could, you guys could approve the money to have the engineering firm, Mark, do this first study, just phase one, and, or what do you propose, or what are your thoughts or ideas, or, what do you guys think? I don't know where to go from here. I'm sorry to be a thorn in your side, but I wanna get off this pony or get it fixed. Yeah.
Well, the ARPA funds could be used for that, if that is what everybody wanted to do.
I haven't talked with Todd yet, 'cause he was on vacation, I didn't wanna bug him while he's on vacation. I think we should reach out and visit with the conservation board and see what their thoughts are. I know, they feel like they've done everything they can, but I think we just need to... Kent?
I don't want to interrupt, but, I stuck around after you guys left, and they just basically said, hey, they didn't want to make a decision on it with only three of them there. They said, in June, we'll have, I guess the other 2 members, and they said they're gonna wait.
I figured that they'd have to mull it over for a while. So I don't think they've made a decision yet, obviously, so.
Okay.
Well, there was, Rasmussen was gone, and so was, Todd, and who's the other? Lee, or Will, excuse me. So there was several of them gone, and I don't suppose they wanted to do anything,
Yeah.
any action without at least having them. And I agree. I mean, I spoke the other night and said that I think that if nothing else, if you check the dam to see if whatever we're looking at, if it's worth it.
Or if there's cheaper options out there. We got one firm's opinion, that doesn't mean it's the right one. It will work, but there might be other good options out there too, so.
Might be cheaper too.
And it might be cheaper.
I guess that's our feeling. All three of us spoke that way.
Until we know
That's right.
if that thing is working.
Right.
And I guess the other thing is we made it known that no one weren't there to step on anybody's toes. We're there because you guys are involved, and there's other people that are asking questions, so, we're trying to get as many answers as we can. Getting as many answers as we can gets as many options, so, that's my feelings.
I talked to Dan Scholl too about, they're struggling putting a bridge to nowhere in there. And, so they're, gotta put a pier in there, so I suggest maybe we could put it over the dam. Use that center, if it's good shape, use it there. He said an engineer came back and said that wasn't a very good idea. I don't know, that was just an opinion. But I thought that might work into it too, if those center piers appear to be pretty good. You could run that bridge over there and use that as your center point, you don't have to have a free-spanning bridge. And I don't know if you guys are part of that bridge or no.
Well,
We are a little bit, but not much.
Most of the fund.
The last I read it, they had to put up, it can't be a free-spanning bridge for the length, so that would alleviate the length of the free-spanning bridge. Go to the center, maybe put picnic tables out there, and that'd be cool, but the engineer said that wasn't, at this time, he didn't think that was a good idea, so. That was just an opinion.
they did
Yeah.
that, has that been on a 3-year saving?
Yeah, there's a grant, there's a
They applied.
little over, of course, it was a little over $1 million 2 years ago, so
Right.
maybe now it's probably 2.
The double, they said.
Yeah, so, I doubt the grant's gonna say, oh, we'll give you twice as much money as we planned on.
And I think they partnered with Fort Dodge, is what I understand, to make trails, to utilize that money and trade money back and forth.
So, who knows where that's going?
And I guess as soon as, we can talk to Todd, visit with him and see what, his thoughts are, somebody will reach back out.
And they made a comment the other night about, all the stuff coming from pattern tiling and everything else, and like where I live, I can see stuff coming down that creek, it's not the sand. I mean, right behind my house, I can show you that stuff coming down that creek, it's not sand. It's all coming from the dam, when they keep arguing that those gates won't open, or won't let anything through. And Jens has argued with him, he's a tile guy, you can tell us what can get through the tile, not so everybody has an education or educated. Or tell us a little bit about that, is it possible, or?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it moved in there, it can be moved out. It flushed in from somewhere. Water carried it in, we open it up and speed it up, it'll go out back out again. How much and to what degree, I don't know.
Might take 10 years to get most of it
It'll
out.
take 10 years. We might get a 9-inch rain in Esterville. One thing that's never considered on this was, a lot of this happened. I mean, that was when we were voting in the 70s.
Don't date yourself.
I know. But it was silted in along the edges then. We knew not to ski over here or ski over there. This has been going on forever. It's, they used to moldboard plow. That stuff was going in there like crazy, but they opened the gates and it went through. It can be done again. But like I say, we don't know the time. But I think after Buzz took that trash off that sandbar, you can see the water again. Already it looks 10 times better. And what's that gonna look like with a whole body of water again? You know, that's one of the most photographed places in Humboldt County.
Yep.
Just about have to put the boards back on so that stuff doesn't grow back.
And that was a thought we talked about too, was the best way to keep that down is put water over the top of it, keep it choked off. And it'll soak into that sandbar. When we open the gates, it's gonna help it get out.
If you go down to the coal plant down there, the old bridge there, you can see there's quite a bit of sand to the north of it, and that all came through a hole, that side, the old power plant. On the north gate, there's a hole in it, and that all came through there, so it'll move.
Through the mill race.
Through the mill race, yeah, that came through the mill race. So if we have the other gates and the mill race operable, I'm sure you would do.
And rain.
And rain, yeah, that'd be a nice option.
Need the water.
Well, the west fork out there, they got water flowing, must have the dam, or gates open up north, because the water's a lot higher the last couple of weeks. So Esterville and up that direction must have a little more moisture moving.
Well, then the other thing that they brought up was the estimate was $3.5 million to dredge it, if you ever have to dredge it someday. And 20 years ago, I offered to buy a dredger. You know, I said I'd buy one if the county provided the manpower and the fuel to run it, if it's possible. And, then another guy called me after that meeting, was thinking about buying, a local person was thinking about buying a dredger, because there's some work to be done, I guess. And he said the value of that sand and stuff, you could probably pay for all your expenses with that sand that we drag out of there, you know, was his opinion, so. And I told him, I'll still buy a dredger, you know, donate it till we use it, and then just resell it, you know. If that's what we have to do, but I'd like to wait 3, 4, 5, 7 years, whatever it takes, to find out what kind of channel we open up and what we can get out for free, and if we got still an issue, then we'll dredge, you know. So, not the end of the world. All right?
Well, we appreciate you guys still offer and still interest in it.
We'll keep in touch with the conservation board.
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do with the brush out there? Are they gonna burn that or haul it off, or what's their plan?
I guess I don't have a clue. I saw it today that there was, part of our claims was for Marshall, for the work that he's done, and they made that, accepted that claim the other night up at the meeting. I think, didn't one of them say it was about half?
Yeah.
What they allocated is where he's about, so he's, I'm assuming, getting towards half of the work done. I don't know if they'll burn it, they'll allow them to burn it there. The burn days and, so many, well, I mean, in town, they only have, I can't go on, we can't go on record saying that. You can.
Get some hot dogs, recreational fire.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that'd probably bring half the town down there.
Hot dog day.
Yeah, Doug, I talked to Doug, and he said that there's that little channel that I showed you in the, when they had that, took them shots from up above, coming out of that Indian Creek. He couldn't cross that because the water was coming up, so as soon as the water goes back down, he's gonna get the rest of those trees on that point. All right.
All right.
You guys recommend you guys wanna go to the conservation board and see what they wanna do then, or?
We will visit with them.
Okay, let us know.
I will.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
you, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else got any general public concerns? Matt, you wanna bring something up? Enjoyed your coverage of the state track meet over the weekend. That was
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
very good.
very nice. Sorry I had to text you, but I was getting a little antsy for the,
Oh, yeah, I was gonna post the stuff, it's just, you know, it's got a little crazy.
I'm sure it is. Watching some of the highlights that you had posted when the kids realized that they had got third place, they were excited and to see them. It was pretty neat, so.
Yeah, that first heat, they came in first, and then the second one was, we had Pella and North Polk, and they were the only sub-minute teams, but I thought, oh, you know, I was waiting, and I thought they had a chance to win the state
Yeah,
championship, but it was awesome coming in third.
yeah, they did an awesome job, all of them, it was a great group, so. All right, Ben.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Ben.
Got a couple things on the agenda. First thing is to approve an application for Mid-American Power, to work in the county right away, to install power at 2414 Pine Avenue. Right now, power comes off 240th Street and runs along their acreage line to feed power to the property. And Mid-American is in the area replacing poles, and they would like to switch the power to come in off of Pine Avenue. This is an agreement between them and the property owners. So they're gonna eliminate the overhead line that crosses 240th Street, and, yeah, they'll be pulling power from the line that runs on Pine.
Is there an existing line that already runs on Pine Avenue?
Yes,
Okay, so they're just gonna take it from that line instead of going across
That line.
240.
yeah.
Mhm.
It'll eliminate one more overhead line for us.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
Is this,
Do they,
let's see.
if I don't pull out anything though?
They'll remove, the existing line.
Oh, they will.
That comes off 240th and runs along the back side of their property,
Okay.
and they'll be re-spanning, poles.
So removing a 35-foot pole there in the corner. And installing 4.
Yeah, with the 40, we'll give them a little more clearance.
Everything else is in order for the 4?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve Mid-American working in the right of way.
You have a motion?
I'll second.
And a second for working right away for 2414 Pine Avenue. Any other discussion?
Just a curiosity, if you know, so that's just a long driveway in this picture, long ways, acreage sits way back
Yeah.
off of, Pine Avenue.
Yeah.
They're gonna go underground all the way to their acreage, or?
No.
They're gonna stick overhead? Just gonna,
Putting holes in.
okay, so they're redoing it entirely with the overhead coming that direction versus from the north
Yes. Yep.
poles there, okay. Just curious.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries. Just one signature, Ben? Okay, looks like we have a resolution 2022-10 authorizing transfer of $300,000 from lost funds to the secondary road funds for FY 2022 projects improvements, LB 21-1 and LB 22-2.
I think it's 21-2, but yes.
Says
Well, it says 21-1 and 22-2, that's why I was...
It's supposed to be 21
I think
dash.
it's supposed to be 21-2.
That's on this one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It is supposed to be 21?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's supposed to be 21-1 and 21-2.
Okay.
That was for, paving projects that we did last season. The lost funding is revenue generated throughout the county that the county has been able to use for construction projects. Every year we submit a request for transfer, to cover some of this local construction that we do. This particular year, I forget what the total is that we spent between the two projects. It was $370 or something like that, and we're requesting $300 transferred from the local option sales tax, fund to secondary roads.
We do it every year, just move it from one to another to make the payment on these things, so...
All right. No, I'll make the motion to approve the resolution 2022-10.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
I got a question.
Any questions?
You total them both together, it's $346,379,
Yes,
but you're only transferring 300.
that's what I budgeted, was 300 for transferring.
Just, not so much question on this transfer, but then the local option sales tax money, there is some of it that it doesn't all go to secondary roads, or, no?
There's
Just a portion of it?
portion that goes to, the other portion goes to the school system.
Goes to, yes, your betterment programs.
Yep.
Yeah, we use some of it.
Is it, percentage-wise, it always goes to the construction projects then? How do they,
For us.
yeah,
Yeah,
the percentage of total?
yes. That was passed,
Last year, wasn't it, or the year
last
before?
year, I think it was renewed for another 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
70%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's 70%.
yeah, 'cause it's, so it's a percentage, like we
Percentage
said,
rolls into our side of the local
Yep.
option sales tax as well as
Then-
the betterment.
yep, yeah, I remember it's a 10-year agreement or whatever to do that. Nope, just double checking, sounds good.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago on a large format scanner that we have talked about for out secondary roads and also being able to use something here. And I guess, did we ever get anything from Marco?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
So, through working with them on combining some of the services we already have and a quote on the large format scanner. This is a scanner that is, what did they say, 3 years newer technology. Where else was it? Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was newer technology than the one that we had gotten quoted from Access Systems.
The only thing is 60-month term at $167.96 a month. The total machine cost is $7,740, and
It's very similar to what,
the other
let's
one.
see, that was...
They're 7,500, I thought.
yeah, and I messaged Trish last week, 'cause Marco's quote to me when I had gotten quote here a year or so ago was like 9,600. So, basically, they're throwing the county a deal to run with all Marco products, is what it sounds like.
Mhm.
So, if we, and I don't have a clue, if we put this out there for you guys to use, say, to get percentage of your guys' stuff done out there, would we be able to move it over to here then? Do we have an area here that we can put it?
I would think so. I mean, I don't know if,
I mean,
I
what...
know the recorder's office is wanting to scan a bunch of stuff, so I suppose if they have the room
I didn't know if...
for the drainage stuff
I was
too.
gonna say, do we have drainage stuff that needs to be scanned? Probably.
Mhm. I guess whatever's convenient for
Mhm.
the recorder's office.
And I know you don't have a clue, Ben, but what would be a time frame for you guys if you got this thing, say, July, and you could start scanning your stuff? How much are you looking at scanning a couple of days a week, get towards...
With the current staff, I'd probably hire somebody part-time.
Just to
Yeah.
come and do it?
Hire a high school kid.
Mhm.
That'd be a good
With
suggestion.
fuel costs, maybe I might come.
You can hit the button, right?
I don't know, once the machine finally showed up, if I had, an employee on hand, I would think
if you had somebody that needed light-duty work, it'd be a good job for them too.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had it right now, I got a guy.
Just give the dimensions, I mean, what is this thing size-wise?
Pounds.
Yeah.
Is it as big as the one in our corner over here?
Well, I
I
mean,
would say so.
let's get it. Let's get
Yeah,
let's get, well, we've talked about this for 5 years now, so I think it's time to get the scanner. It would start at secondary roads, it'll take whatever time it takes.
And I don't care if it starts at secondary roads, I mean, if the gals at the recorder's office are prepared and ready and they're not gonna have to hire somebody in, by all means, start with it up here.
Mhm.
They have a physical room in the recorder's office to get it in there and use it?
I don't know, I would think,
I guess that would be the next question.
Yeah, well, why don't you have that discussion with Diane and see if, who can get at it the fastest.
Did they say how long this thing would take to get it? I mean, this thing sitting in their room, or their building, or?
she did not say.
All right.
And does this go along with the other things you were checking on, so that you'd get
You said
one
that-
contract through
Mhm.
Marco with...
Yeah, but it's a 60-month payment via release.
It's a lease, we can pay for the machine up front if we want with the ARP money.
Otherwise, you use it for 5 years and then you let it go back.
Right. There is a 3-year maintenance program, it's $47.66.
Which is probably pretty cheap.
A
Yeah.
month, I'm sure.
Mhm.
If I bought it, it'd work for a week, and then it would start malfunctioning.
What is the total cost to lease versus with the, repair plan also, versus paying for it all up front?
Well,
What was the lease price?
$167.86 a month.
Plus your,
44?
Plus 47.66.
Probably you're gonna pay regardless whether you own it or lease
Yeah.
it.
true.
Right,
True.
right,
More
but you,
expensive to lease.
Mhm.
Always.
by how,
Yeah,
usually,
well, then on that, when you're done leasing, you got zero.
yeah, so you're talking 3,000 more
It does not include the ink.
This is payable with ARP funds.
released, isn't it?
I would suggest you just buy it,
I
pay
would
the
too.
monthly fee and,
You're gonna save $3,000.
yeah.
It might end up at the end of the time where we can leave it out at the secondary roads, and if we need to
Mhm.
keep using
All
something,
right,
we
good.
can redo.
You've been, and, well, of course, we don't have Diane or whoever else would be using it, but correct me if I'm wrong, it will get a lot of use initially to get everything scanned,
Yeah.
first, and then I think it will be sporadically as needed.
Well, then
Right.
it'll be used for like your large format printing.
Maps.
Right,
Your map.
but I mean, it'll be used, but it'll be a lot of use in the first year, and then it'll taper off after that. So it should last, my point being, it should last a long time.
Should last a long time.
Should last,
So
So how much
as
do you have,
maintenance
like,
agreement.
between the auditor's office and the drainage department? Do you have quite a bit?
Mhm.
Drainage is.
A ton.
So does the auditor's office.
What is the auditor's office?
I mean,
So do you think it could be up here, I'm just gonna throw, would it be here the first year, up in the courthouse, and then, I mean, what is the most,
Yeah. I'd say you guys got at least a year.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Maybe I wanna play with you then.
I guess I would probably help you use it first,
You
maybe.
want us to use it first?
You can
Just because
You can
it's-
learn to get the bugs out of it and figure out how things work.
With your stuff, it's not in the vault.
Yep.
It's simpler, it's not in them big books.
Okay.
We can work that out later.
I guess the discussion, the action is, I would make a motion to move forward with the Marco, scanner, purchasing, not leasing.
I would second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to move forward with the Marco HP, there's a long list of numbers,
Something.
large format scanner. And using ARP money to purchase that.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Why don't you check with them, see what, if they ordered it this week, what would be a delivery time, and then I guess we can work out the bugs for, you got room, or if you need it first, however we're gonna do
Yeah.
it, it can go wherever.
Who's gonna use it after everything is scanned long-term the most?
I'd say probably up here at the courthouse afterwards, and then if there's something that we've got that's large format that needs printed, we can always put it on a flash drive and bring it up here.
Okay.
Mhm.
That, I was just curious how inconvenient, because I figured you'd be using it more after everything is scanned.
It just
For printing?
depends.
How heavy is this thing?
Oh, I'm sure it's pretty heavy.
That it's not light, but
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I
it's
was
on
thinking.
wheels.
I'll say I'd put wheels or dollies under it and permanent,
Yeah,
'cause you wheel it around, start banging it back and forth, like,
that's a good point, Dave.
It's got wheels
Yeah.
already.
knock it clear out.
Well, and it-
Alignment.
I think that, like Ben said, the majority of his stuff, once he gets it scanned, if you have something, you can bring it over after it's over here, so, I think it'll work.
I do too.
And I'm glad we're moving forward with
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
it advanced down the road, get it quick
Well,
kick
this
in
is
the
perfect
can.
time with school getting out, and, you know, if we can get it soon enough.
Yeah.
Okay, on our list there, we have approved drainage levies for 2022, which you have a copy in front. Did you have anything else, Ben?
Nope.
Okay.
Do we need to go into drainage?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we better.
All right,
I'll make
then.
that motion to go into drainage.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to go into drainage. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Pose same sign. We are in at 9:03.
So the list of the drainage stuff for levying, there's a lot of little different ones that go back and forth because projects start out in one
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
and transfer to another. And the recommended waiver years are next to the ones that have waiver payments.
Oh, the other ones they have to pay up front then, if they don't have a waiver, your waiver? Okay.
So they don't have parcels that would be over $500.
Okay.
So this is the list of what will be levied in September.
Correct.
Question: so, other than what's, I mean, they're listed here, so well, whatever, any of these, there's ongoing work, and it's close to being done, but not, and you get the final bill, say, for one of these district projects, can we still add that with this approval, so that that is levied? Because there's some very near completion projects that,
And they could be levied the following year, just that bill.
but I mean, there, and I don't know for sure, I'm just looking at the districts and the ones that we've kind of discussed, certainly prior to this being put together to levy.
How much do you think it will be for?
Well, I don't know, and DD, let's see here, another branch A, I just think there's gonna be some added to like 11 branch A, I mean, there's gonna be, they're very nearly completed.
And it's a constant, I mean,
So I mean,
the bills are as of last week, I guess.
right, but that, see, this is May, and some of these projects are near completion, and we're striving to get the bills in June for this.
Right.
So you, I mean, I don't know what the dollar amounts are, but just use a number of, $20,000 bill, and that's
Well, the ones we were referring to are 6 and 18. Is there any other ones?
Well,
What's this Brian,
Brandon's
Brandon
is,
Myers.
11, I believe.
Is that 11?
No,
No, it's not.
it's 29.
Yeah.
29. And see, I don't know if that's a total. Of course, there's other things on that too, more than his. I'm just saying, I hate to miss a $10,000 to $20,000 bill it's gonna be submitted next month
Right.
and not be levied, because then we sort of go backwards on, everybody says, great, we're getting the levy, we're getting the bill, we're getting the ability to pay it, however, you know, depends on what district you're in, and then next year, oh, shoot, here's another one.
Right, you'd probably have to do it again next year then.
Or you can just have the
And that's where-
contractor give us a rough estimate and levy a little extra.
Add that to it.
Because
we only got like 3 or 4 projects that are on.
right, but those are the ones that we had talked, I didn't know we were gonna have this, and this is great for what our goal is to get these levies out there more expediently. But on the flip side, they're gonna be, well, no one's thrilled to pay money, but yes, boy, finally got it, we're stopping the interest, we can get it paid this year, we're done with it. And then, oh, by the way, we didn't have the final bill in. I don't think that's fair.
But Rick, can they give us an estimate on that, and then just go ahead and levy that on it?
I would think they could.
I mean...
Give you a rough estimate,
Yeah.
you know, 'cause
I think-
typically we always have a little cushion in when we levy for a few extra thousand,
Mhm.
sometimes
100, yeah.
10,000,
I-
some of these bigger districts.
Would you be able to get a hold of the, people who are doing the work and see if they could give us a estimate?
Well, I think that,
Well, I think that they're gonna be close enough
I
the way
think
it is.
Brandon Meyer can give you this final bill if he hasn't, because I believe that's done.
Well, 18 has got a lot of pipe work.
Right, and they could probably, there again,
They could-
that one's close, but that one, you would expect that one would lapse over till the following year, because there's no way that they're gonna be
No.
able to get that done. 6 is virtually done,
Yeah.
but I don't know what the balance is, but they probably know within, it's even probably better than an estimate, it's probably very close to the final billing.
Mm-hmm.
If we can, that's why I say, we can't add that, approve this today and add that?
We can.
Yeah, I think we
My
could.
question, that's my question.
If we
is,
can,
we
then-
have this, already approved,
Yep.
then as long as they don't bring it in the end of July, first part of
Right
August,
after the levy goes out.
then we're worried about, you know, her, and they're still trying to train somebody in drainage,
Right.
then that's...
No, I mean, if these bills show up, let's say, you know, within less than a month, 2 to 3 weeks, can they be added to this?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Versus trying to estimate
Designate which one specifically, maybe. So,
6,
7
29,
and 18.
and possibly 18.
Yeah.
But 18 is a known fact that will not, no way, shape, or form be done by this levy period.
Or ever.
No, it'll be done next year. It'll be done next year. The March levy should take care of it. So, those are the ones for sure.
Well, I think that would be the option, we tell the contractors, the quicker you get the building done,
Mhm.
so that we can at least put it on, because we aren't gonna be able to do it in August.
No, and they know that.
Well, that's what I'm...
But they
saying,
didn't,
is
they weren't
they'll-
expecting end of May, they were expecting mid-June.
Or give us a dang good rough guess so we can get it levied, so we have the money to pay.
Yeah, if they don't have the exact, like if they're not done with the last pipe on DD 6 in 2 weeks, at least say, by golly, that's gonna be this, and we'll overestimate a little bit.
Yeah.
You always want a little bit of a cushion, so.
Well, you guys all said that you leave a certain amount of money in
Yeah, you do.
in each district anyway, so if a little thing comes up, correct?
Yeah.
Right, you always like to have a cushion there, yeah.
Back stuff
Mhm.
that Gary was talking about.
This is all of it.
So this, good. I just asked where this puts us in our back stuff that, when Gary was in a couple weeks ago. So this is all.
This is inclusive, but yeah, if we can do that and just make sure that, and there's only 2 contractors that have, and they realize that, but they were probably thinking they have a couple weeks to get those bills submitted, with probably
I
mid-June.
probably didn't levy this early, but
Wanna get it
Ed
done.
from Wright County says we have to, so. Okay,
Well, I would make a motion that we do approve these pending, final bill submission for these, probably 3 projects that could be added to this. Drop dead day, what, middle of June, 2 weeks? We have a 2-week freeze period?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay,
I'll hold those.
Okay.
we have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and I would thank you very much for putting this
Yes, getting this
on the front burner and taking,
Yep.
so we all have to sign this?
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else in drainage?
I did talk to Dan Scholl this
About?
last week about, yeah,
Up north,
Hatchers,
Hatchers.
Jared?
yeah. And he said that, is it Cole Bachman, he thinks, looking at that and trying to see what they can do.
I visited with Jared, and he seemed to be happy with what they're telling him, at least they're talking. Cole is the new administrator. He's been up and looked at his property a couple of times, so they are at least talking about it, so Jared was happy with that.
And that's all I have for now.
Okay.
Well, one other quick thing, talking with one of our contractors, it's Corey Ben, sounds like they didn't find anything on Bacon's property, it was just a divot.
Nothing broke?
Nope. Just settled, tile's fine.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
he did inspect that, so, nope, it just, for whatever reason, it settled a little bit, but the tile was perfectly intact, so.
Maybe all that rain we had.
Yeah.
Something, and possibly was a fix from some years ago, and over time, it had settled, but there was...
Yeah, 'cause it's 3 foot deep and half the size of this table.
Yep, and there was no, the tile was fine.
Well,
So,
good.
he inspected that, and then there's another project, and this is definitely a broken tile on DD 18. But he will plan on getting to, that's one that came into the office a couple, 3 weeks ago. And, he is gonna go out and get that, he has got the information on it, it's just needs to deliver more. But that is definitely broken, 'cause there's pictures of that one, so. He will get that most likely this week, so get some of these projects taken care of.
Perfect. All right, anything else in drainage? Motion to go out?
So moved. Second. Nope, go ahead, Ted, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, we are out at 9:14. All right. We have approved resolution 2022-9, approving the ISAC group benefits program, 2080 agreement. We each have a copy.
Whatever, is that a part of this right here? I thought that was a different,
That is different.
so are we looking at reconsidering a different group, or why are we?
What is this?
We have, apparently, I didn't even know this, that there is individuals that have ISAC, voluntary AD&D with them. And so this is just authorizing that it's okay to continue to do that agreement. And I don't think there's very many people on it, actually. It's all paid, it's not paid for by the county, it's just by the individual.
Individuals.
And what,
Okay.
And it was offered apparently years ago, so,
Oh.
It's life insurance, right?
yes.
well, just life insurance? Okay. So they need, I see.
Okay,
This was in your packet, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have,
Join, or if you wanted to continue, or, so with that,
I'll make a motion to accept or approve resolution 2022-9.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve 2022-9, 2080 agreement. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Sign that contract.
You don't need this one signed?
Yeah, I do.
Am I signing this side?
Mhm. Last underneath.
This will be pretty simple. I'm gonna call these two individuals, have that discussion with them, say, got a bill, turn it in. Now,
You have a damn good estimate on it.
Yep, bring it, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Good, so. But they were thinking, I told them June, they were thinking May.
Yeah.
All right. Discussion and action on air conditioning.
No, I haven't.
I told him.
Did we get any
Oh,
response?
let me know what it is, I'll look
Yeah,
at it.
I talked to him last, actually.
Well, another
when I was
company
at the
gets some
landfill,
other bids or something.
And I never thought to bring it up to him,
Alright,
so.
yeah, we need something.
Where's it at now?
Hold this.
Where's it?
Still out
Get
there.
this done.
Still same place?
I just gotta remind him that they're in the area.
I haven't heard anything, have you?
I never got anything called back. Did you get anybody reach out to you, Rick? 'Cause you were the contact.
No, I haven't heard anything on that.
Well, then I think we need to start exploring our options, because if nobody is interested in doing it, then
Mhm.
that's my opinion.
I would agree with that.
It'll be
You gotta
100
get somebody who wants to do
10
it.
degrees.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot one of these days.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it will.
And I guess, do we advertise, do we start calling, how do you,
Well, we had Wingert before, gave us a quote, they were a little bit higher.
right?
You call them, have them come back. You try BB, I know, he's tough to get sometimes, but it wouldn't hurt to give him a phone call.
I can call him. I'll try him as soon as we walk out of here, or when we get done with the meeting. Do we have an idea as to when we put them in touch, to get in touch with you? What we're looking for? Are we, I mean, that's, everything is set in stone as to what we're,
That's kind of
it was the east side, wasn't it?
some of the recorder's office, and then we got, the server room's gonna have to have something done, because it's gonna get too hot. And
With
then
all that stuff
the
running.
one in our vault isn't working over here. So,
Yeah.
Would we be able to have something shared with the one in the vault and the one in the server room?
I would think so,
Means they're basically in line, aren't they?
yeah, right above each other.
And I guess that's what we're after as
Yeah.
far as
And that's,
their
I should ask
opinion.
questions for those people, 'cause I don't know what can be shared and what can't be shared, and how many units you can
Every
combine.
unit that we have out there that either is outdated or we need to know if we can share, instead of having 10 units, we could cut them to 5.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Good here.
The courtroom, or not the courtroom, the judge's chambers and library upstairs are still using
window,
window air. Greg asked if we could maybe do something with those also this year.
well, I'm guessing one of these days they're gonna get back to having court here more often than once a month or whatever I guess I would just, whoever comes and is interested enough to give you a bid, give them the ones that we're looking at and see where we're at, and
Have them break it down into those units, and the lower units and the upper, like 3 different options or whatever, and we'll pick and choose or do them all.
Okay.
But I know that the server room has to have,
has to
has to be cooler than what it is.
have to be able to
Climate
control the
control.
temperature.
Yeah, 'cause it's gonna get hot.
Well, and I guess, long story short, we've asked for some local, and if we don't get any more response, then
Yeah.
Reach out.
we're reaching out, so
Mhm.
that's where we're at. but when I talk to Adam, I'll let him know. I don't know, Sands still have air conditioning, don't they?
Yeah.
I gotta call Joel, ask him.
Harry's up in Livermore.
All right. And I guess we'll go from there and see where we end up, and
Yeah.
hopefully in a week or two, we'll have people back with bids or however they wanna do it, so. Committee, we done with committee?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. On Tuesday, here at Dakota City, I had the kitty cat daycare. And then Wednesday, down at Coraville on the 18th, it was the DEV 2022, which is it was economic development, and the Iowa Utilities Association put that on, and it was a really good meeting. It was great. They had throughout that whole day, they started meetings at 8 a.m., so we went down the night before. Kyle Strecker and Kyle from Cassuth County, we went down, and it had a lot of good ideas of how to bring excitement to your community, and there was a culture of entrepreneurship. It was talking about different trails, what you could do with your trails to get people interested in coming, to do on your bike trails, because there's a lot of money to be made and business to be brought into your community for that. Buildings, a lot of communities are doing murals on their older buildings, and there's actually, I didn't even know this, mural tours. So then they'll go to different communities, and they'll go to these different, the other thing was trying to encourage people to, in your community, to do social media, because everybody has outside friends, for the businesses in town, to get excitement for the businesses and that, and then, so there, I think go to any of the renewable energy things. I was more interested in the community development track, but they had different things that you could go to. Governor Reynolds was there at noon, so we had a working lunch, and then they had a panel there during lunch. So, yeah, it was very good. And I'm gonna get with Alyssa. She wasn't able to go, so, that's why I decided to go. But they had a lot, I was surprised at how many supervisors were at that meeting, which makes sense, because it's for your whole area and that, how you can work together and that. And, then Thursday on the 19th down in Fort Dodge, I had the Iowa Workforce, Region 5, meeting. We, are working at getting our board. We had some people that had to resign, so then we're working at getting our board back up, and, there's money out there to help people. I just want to get that out there, for displaced workers, youth is up to 24. So if there's people out in the community that say, didn't go to college, but yet they're under 24, there's money out there that we can get them skilled training and, apprenticeship. There's also, if they did graduate from high school, we can get them a GED and training. So there's money out there. Displaced workers, there's quite a bit of money out there to get people retrained and get them back to work. And we're having a hard time getting people willing to take this training so that we can get them...
It ain't so much as training, willing to work.
Well...
That's the problem. They ain't so much they don't want to train, they just don't want to work, period.
Well, I didn't want to get into that part of it, but there is opportunities out there that people can really make. I mean, they're talking about, you're talking plumbing, welding, electrical, they can make...
Oh, you look at the paper, it's full of want ads.
Yeah, I mean, they can easily go into these, apprenticeships and make really good money in that apprenticeship. So there's opportunities there. I'd just like to get that out, that people would research that, and I can get them with people that can help them get that training if they want it. That's it.
That's all.
That's all. That's all she wrote.
Okay, Wednesday, had a, Humboldt Community Housing, meeting. That was a 3:00 conservation meeting at 6:00, another meeting at 7, that don't pertain to the county. And a reminder, Thursday this week, we're gonna have the flags out here at 5:00, start putting them up. And I won't be here, but I'll have somebody here to get them started and get going on them. 'Cause our Midas meeting's on Wednesday and they moved that to Thursday. Also a Board of Adjustment meeting on Thursday this week.
I just sent Butch a text to remind him at 5:00 on Thursday, so hopefully they'll have a group of young, energetic kids that'll help.
And if anybody wants to help in the cemeteries, give me a call, I'll take volunteers. Give you flags and put them on all the military graves.
That's a lot of work too.
That's a lot of work.
Anything else, Dave? Your turn. No, nothing official meeting-wise last week.
Okay. Tuesday evening, I had a regional landfill down at Fort Dodge. Our new COO was in charge now, is Donna Bice. She was a former board member. So, she, got the job there, and I think she'll be a great fit down there. She's she's been somewhat running the landfill for a while, because she was our chairman down there, so she had some good experience with what she was getting into. Wednesday afternoon, I had the Humboldt County Housing at 3, went to the conservation meeting at 6. Thursday, I came in and signed checks for IDDA, and then Friday at 1:00, I met Dave Minikis out at the old Humboldt County landfill, did a walkthrough of that, and we talked about getting it surveyed off, so it's separate from the land out there, before we go into this environmental covenant process. And, something we need to discuss on that is, there's a borrow pit out there that, whether we leave that in the landfill or put it outside, and then it'd be accessible to the conservation or something, because there's 45 acres of tillable, plus this borrow pit, and probably another 10 acres of grassland that, would be outside of the footprint of the old landfill, that we could, because we would probably have to put some type of fence up and gates to keep people out of it eventually. So that's something we'll have to talk about at some point, but that was it for me.
Okay, Tuesday the 17th, I had Udmo Finance meeting, phone, and then Wednesday the 18th, I stopped up at the conservation meeting and sat and listened to them, that meeting for a while, and that was my week. What, I'm assuming for next week, what's your thoughts for, courthouse is closed, right?
Yep.
Well, we just paid claims, so there's no claims next week to be paid and worry about. I'd suggest the light schedule and not too much else going on, we forego a meeting next week.
Well,
Unless an emergency comes up,
Something we don't know about today.
works for me,
Let Trish get her strength up for the primary elections.
yes. do you have any, how's things been going? And we got a lot of people coming through the door, early voting,
Yeah, they're having...
busy?
Mhm. Yep. Been good.
All right.
When are we gonna get to our IT interview process?
Well, how about this week?
Did you get anything set up? Because I know you emailed out.
Well, yeah. Nobody really had any specific times, I don't know how you...
Well, I told you what days I couldn't,
Correct.
so, and everybody else said that they could do any of the days, they'd make it work, so I didn't know.
What do you guys wanna do? We can do... yeah.
We're the, whatever the IT group is, ITC something or other,
ICIT. He's flexible.
I mean, they're
so they were gonna be incorporated, so whatever
Yes.
kind of
Mhm.
works with those.
It's like I said, I went ahead and have a clue until you even asked the guy.
But we've had,
They've already seen the resume.
and we've had exposure and interaction with some of those folks, and they certainly seem to be good IT people, and they're the ones that would ask the pertinent questions.
Mhm.
So, thinking this week, next week, whenever everybody...
So, the ICIT people would like to have it just, like, done in an afternoon or whatever.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Because,
Can you facilitate, both parties to get them, I mean, I'm talking that group and the people you're interviewing? Can we get them all together to make it work in an afternoon?
hopefully,
So who's gonna set up the interviews?
I guess I will. So,
Or any of
Tuesday we have...
you're sitting in on it?
Will it be that same group that was earlier?
Road, I can't remember his first name.
Joel.
Joel, yeah.
And Kai Derek, couldn't be there. I would,
You emailed Dean, Ben, and myself.
yeah. Dean is flexible whenever, whatever.
Right, so was Ben.
And
We had 2 days that I couldn't.
how about, tomorrow the boardroom is taken with the meetings.
Well, even if
And if
it's...
not, we have upstairs too. So whenever you guys wanna do this, let's do it as soon as possible.
Right, I think we all talked about that.
Wasn't
I'll
our
agree to that.
agreement with the ICIT
Mhm.
group
Yep.
to get through the interview process, and then they would give us the board, their feedback,
Recommendation, yeah.
feedback from the interviews,
Mm-hmm.
along with whoever else attends the interviews, that we'd get all that back, and so, yeah, I mean, if this week's works, but if next week, but certainly very soon.
Yeah. How
For that.
about, we can try for tomorrow, maybe? Well,
I would think that'd be awful short.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
guess-
gonna get the interviewers to be able to...
I would just-
Interviewees.
Later this
You gotta give
week.
us 2 days.
Go through, and I mean, like Sandy said, make sure you contact the necessary folks, and if you can get it to in one afternoon, that works for everyone. If it didn't end up being this week, if it was next week, wouldn't be the end of the world, but, because you wanna get it done more one fell swoop than try to have it 2 or 3 different times, that's gonna be very difficult.
Well, people gotta drive from over...
Yeah, then they're, yeah, so,
How close are the interviewees?
close.
Well, I'd start by doing that, see if we can put it together towards the end of the week, if not, the first part of the week.
yep.
If you need me or one of, anybody else to be part of it, I need to know a little faster than,
A day?
my week with, what I have scheduled
Yeah,
for
that's
this
what I
week
mean,
is
yeah.
kind of I've already got some things going on, and this is my week of hell for meetings, tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday night, so I'm kinda booked,
I
pre-booked.
guess I just assumed, since we all replied back to you, that you were already starting to work to get the interviews set up.
If we get it done, let's move forward with it.
Absolutely.
Um,
No later than next week, I guess.
Mhm.
That's just whatever fits everybody's schedule.
Do you wanna put a motion for next week's meeting?
My motion, as far as the supervisors go,
Huh?
let's,
No meeting next week.
yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but it isn't on our schedule here, so...
There is no official supervisors meeting next week.
Right.
Second?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to forego next week's meeting on,
We always have 2 seconds.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Oh, I didn't realize you already, I was thinking...
All in favor, aye?
Aye, to go.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. We will, I guess, keep us, the rest of us in the loop as to how you progress with your, and if you need someone to step in to sit and listen,
Because if we can't all be there, we don't all have to be there, but some of us will come.
Well, it sounded like Sandy was gonna be in, and
I will be pretty available,
Good.
so,
well, I get through Wednesday and Thursday for, CFR meeting, 'cause this month, we have to do it in person, 'cause we're doing employment evaluation, so we have to go down there, so I gotta be down in Webster City at 5 o'clock, so... Other than that, just tops my week off of,
Okay.
I guess. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right,
make a motion to adjourn.
we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are out at 9:38. Thank you all.
Yep.